guys, let's get right into it. As Team USA men's basketball won the gold once again, they kept their streak going, as that is now 5 in a row for the U.S. men, dating back to 2008 and the Redeem team. But the semifinals matchup, let's get to that first, because they played Serbia for a third time. They played them the first time in an exhibition round. Then they played them in the group stage of the Olympics. They handled both times, made it look easy. And the old saying is that it's always hard to beat a team for the third time. I don't know if I'm necessarily believing that, though, before we get to the actual championship game, because to me, maybe I'm just being skeptical or whatever, but I honestly feel like Serbia played down in those first 2 games, and then we saw the real Serbia team in that semifinal matchup. But Kevin, what did you think of that matchup between Team USA and Serbia on the men's side?
Man, it was a rough game. I missed the first quarter, but Steph went off, so I'm like, all right, another win. Maybe a little tightness, but we're gonna win the game. I'm on my lunch break. Opening my Subway sandwich, I prop the game up, and I'm like, whoa, we're losing. Oh, all right, 8, 10, 12, 15. I'm like, you know what? It's all good. And then I remember like it was yesterday. 3:35 on the clock. Bogey hits a 3. He's yelling at Melo. And Ron said, hey, man, don't do that around here. We don't do that. That's Melo. You ain't going to disrespect Melo. And then it was over.
No problem.
Then it was game time. We see the flexing. We seen the 3 celebrations, and it was a wrap from there. But Serbia came out and played great. I saw a tweet that said, it doesn't matter who Joker got on his team. If LeBron and AD on the other side, it's smoke. No matter who we got, they're going to go out there and play. And honestly, I think they're another NBA player away. And I was talking to my dad about this, and it really goes to show that the force of the Nuggets is not the duo of Jamal Murray and Joker, because we saw Jamal Murray away from the Joker, and he's really bad. So the Joker is just the nucleus. He makes that team go. Yeah, he's not jumping out the gym. Yeah, he gets picked last for the All-Star games, but he's a 3-time MVP for a reason. So you have to give him his respect. But for him to go out there and dominate on this level, we saw the first 2 games when he's off the court, they trembled. But they were holding their weight. Bogey, looked like a Sacramento King out there. I almost shed a tear. But then he got LeBron going. LeBron saying they're too small, and it was a bombshell from there. But, hell of a game, a hell of a pre-up before the championship game that we'll get into later, that if they didn't play that game, if they blew them out, they might have lost the championship game. So to have that tough run-up before the last game went a long way.
Yeah, certainly. And speaking of Bogey and the Atlanta Hawks, I saw something on X, formerly known as Twitter, immediately after that game, where someone said, whoever number 7 is on Serbia, he's a really good guy. He would be great in the NBA. And then I saw someone quoted it and said, this is proof that no one watches Atlanta Hawks basketball. And that kind of just hits the nail on the head that Kevin said, where it's like, yeah, Bogey was known when he was a Sacramento King, ironically enough. But now that he's been in Atlanta, apparently people forgot who he was and weren't putting respect on his name. But, Jaevon, what was your perspective on that semifinals matchup between USA and Serbia? Because the Americans hold on 95-91, but they went into that fourth quarter down 13. And as Kevin mentioned earlier, Steph Curry finally came alive. Like Aisha, his wife, got to the country, and he decided to put on for her because he scored 14 of the first 15 points for Team USA, which was his most in an Olympic game. And he did so in the first 4 minutes of that game. And it was just crazy. He had 17 in that first quarter. After that first quarter, Jokic and Bogey both had 9 each as Serbia led by 8. And, it was crazy because Team USA had only trailed by just under 17 minutes through the first 14 games, and they trailed for most of this game against Serbia. So were you worried?
I was definitely worried. Like Kev mentioned, I was kind of in and out of watching the game, but I just consistently saw that Steph Curry was basically keeping the team afloat. And even though afloat might be, we're down 15, but Steph has like 28. So it's like maybe he could catch fire going into the fourth and even going into the third. You know me, I'm going to bring out the gambling aspect. Serbia was, or not Serbia, USA was favored by 16 or 15 and a half, 16 on the dot during this game. Live odds for when going into the fourth quarter when USA was down, I believe it was 13. USA was plus 600 to win. So if you would have put down, you could have put $1,000 down, won the cool 6,000 on Team USA in the final moments of that game. Jason Tatum didn't play in this game. That's a whole another conversation.
Don't get Kevin started.
Didn't seem like they needed him, but LeBron has been very consistent. Was very consistent throughout all of the gold medal games from rebounds, points, and assist perspective. He was kind of doing literally everything at the age of 39 years old, which is insane. You have you got Kevin Durant coming off the bench, which is just unheard of. And I even saw in an interview saying, like, he's like, yeah, man, like, I don't really mind coming off the bench. Like, this is kind of like their thing. I'm just here to come in and score. Like, if you need me, basically paraphrasing what he was saying. But man, Steph Curry, these last two games and the next game we'll definitely get into, definitely saved this Team USA team. The Avengers, as LeBron called it.
That's right.
But I mean, he closed out both games, and it's kind of crazy to see that some people were saying that Steph wasn't really a great closer, and I feel like this kind of cements his legacy in a little bit, especially with the night celebration, him being a unanimous MVP. I believe it's 4-time champion. So I mean, we gotta start mentioning conversation that people already have. Greatest point guard ever. We gotta start getting there. But a lot of people are gonna say, and I'm one of those people that say Magic. I still think Magic is one of the greatest point guard. Is the greatest point guard. But I mean, it's kind of hard when I obviously never watched Magic Johnson play. But seeing what Steph has been able to do and all the things that he's accomplishing, especially on this Team USA team, this is his first Olympics. Like, he fucking showed out. He showed out for sure. But closing out the game, I believe Steph hits like 2 very close threes down the stretch to kind of, boost Team USA up. I just wish, what would have been the perfect thing. Steph would have hit the 3. He would have did the mellow sign. That would have been just man. That would have been
right in front of Bogey.
That would have been match made. But I mean, Team USA pulled it out. Was a little nervous, not gonna lie. Kind of going down the stretch. I was driving around when the game was going on, so I definitely had to pull over and watch like the last 5 minutes, and it was really good basketball. And shout out to Noah Lyles, world's best. So it's just really cool to see, especially on the Serbia team they've been playing for however long. And I know we'll get into the gold medal game. When Serbia won their bronze medal game, it was like you saw all this emotion from Bogey, from Jokic. Jokic's partying like he's boys. So it's like,
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
he actually looked like he was having fun for once.
Yeah, he was. A lot of people. I was seeing a lot of stuff on X saying he was more excited to win bronze than winning an NBA championship.
He doesn't have to do mandatory practice. Shaun, lights my boot,
and just go.
No parades,
none of that. But it's different because it's his country. So it's like, it feels like when he goes over playing the NBA, like, it's work for him.
When he goes working 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's literally he's working his 9 to 5, and he's got a side hustle, and so his side hustle start to take off a little bit. He's cool about it, but it's hard to beat a good team 3 times. So to kind of see that, USA was favored by 16 points in that game was a little bit alarming. Didn't really expect them. I thought it would be kind of close, and they kind of pull away at the end. But yeah, they were down the entire game until Steph came out and showed his ass.
Yeah,
that's why he's the babyface assassin. So
he certainly did. And the crazy thing about coming into that semifinal game is the head coach of Serbia said that this USA team is better than the Dream Team. He said this is the best team he has ever seen. I don't know if he was doing that to lull them into a sense of comfort, or it's like, yeah, we're the best, and then they catch him sleeping, or if he actually meant it because he was coaching for Serbia. I don't think he was the head coach, but he was coaching for Serbia back in '92 when Team USA had the Dream Team. So he saw it in person himself, but ultimately Team USA pulls it out. And I even said to Kevin during the game, because I forgot that it was on. and I had to rewind it, and I was fast forwarding through the commercials throughout the game, throughout halftime.
No spoilers.
Exactly. Because of that, I was behind everyone, and I told everyone who was texting me about it, I said, no spoilers, please. I'm just watching it behind. But then I had to get going, and so I had to hop in the shower basically right when the fourth quarter started. They're down 13, and I was like, oh,
It's like, bro, we're gonna
lose.
We're gonna lose. We're gonna cross.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like the thing that I said to Kevin is like, I'm not worried until it gets later, because Team USA, the men, like they hadn't been tested until this point. Yeah, they were tested throughout exhibition play, but did they really have their best ability at that point? I don't think so. I don't think that they were truly like revved up. But, you know, they ultimately were tested, and they were able to pull it out, and they proved why everyone else is competing for second place, at least this year, and for the last 4 Olympics. And so now that takes us to the championship game with USA and France. But before we get there, I did want to mention Steph Curry finished with 36 points in the semifinals, which is 1 point short of tying Carmelo Anthony for the all-time single game record for USA men's basketball. And so Steph certainly left his mark. One other note from the semifinal game is that Joel Embiid finally decided to show up. He was dealing with the crowd booing him and taunting him throughout because he decided not only not to play for Cameroon because probably wouldn't have even qualified, just like my guy, Lauri Markkanen in Finland, didn't even qualify. And so he had the opportunity to play for France or Team USA. He wanted to go and get that gold, so he played for Team USA. But he finally came alive in this game as he had 19 points on 8 of 11 from the field. And so shout out to Joel Embiid for getting going. And it really seemed like Team USA's strategy in this game was to have everyone except for Nikola Jokic beat. Because Jokic still finished with 17 points, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. But that's what led to Bogey getting the 20 points. And Avramovic, 15 points.
He was lighting us up.
Yeah, and apologies to him for butchering his last name. But anyway, then that takes us to the gold medal game. Team USA beats France 98-87. But the game was honestly a lot closer than the final score indicates, even with it being an 11-point differential. And so, Kevin, just what did you think overall about this gold medal game for the men?
I'm going to start it off the same way we did with the Serbia. Steph Curry, Wardell Curry. 8 threes in one game. And I'm just going to skip to the very last 3. There's nobody else in the world that looks off LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and shoots over 2 people. That person is never touching the basketball in the NBA again. They're kicked off at their last game in the league. Thank you for your service. You're sitting get dishonorable discharge. Going on. But for him to do that and put him to sleep and come out with the night-night in French just goes to show that Steph Curry is that real deal. I'm sure we all saw it after his last ring. He said, I got one more thing to do. I got to go win it for Coach Kerr in the Olympics. And he went out there and did it. He went out there and did his thing from start to finish. He was a huge part to this this show. I know a lot of people are saying that he should have been MVP. LeBron shouldn't have got it. You guys have to understand there were more than 2 games. You know, Steph Curry really came alive, you know, like Shaun mentioned. When the family got there, he had to represent. He had to go out there and represent. He was doing TikTok challenges. He was just back in his groove. So to see Steph go out there and do his thing, goes show a lot. But the one guy I wanted to talk about, and I'm not, apologies in advance, I'm going to butcher your name. I'm just going to say his last name. Yabusele. He was picked 16th by Clyde's Boston Celtics. Gave up on him.
Gave up on him.
For no calls. I'm not going back.
Wait, is this the same guy that dunked on LeBron?
Yeah.
Walk right in.
He walked the dog. Some would say that was patriotic. 40-year-old man putting his body on the line. If that's a Lakers game, he's doing this. Let's go.
He's not getting in the. He's not taking the shot.
No, he's not blocking it. He's getting out the net and pushing. Put his life on the line. 40 years old. A couple days ago, he was on the triple-double. Grabbing on his beard. He's doing whatever he can. He's putting his body on the line. But the unsung hero about this whole Olympics is Devin Booker. Because he quoted a tweet on
2023.
Talking about when
September 2023.
When Kuz tweeted
9/12/23, he said, Kyle Kuzma, USA better get some guys, some NBA stars that know how to play a role. Anybody can be nice with the ball in their hand, but can you be cool with defending and going in the corner with a couple possessions? If you guys been tuned in a couple weeks, we talked about Jason Tatum is a great player, all NBA player, the only American on first team all NBA. So how are you going to tell me I can't play against these guys? That tweet says it all. Can you play defense and be okay with sitting in the corner? Devin Booker averaged 11 points, 57% shooting from the field, 56% from three, 20 assists to 3 turnovers, a plus overall minus of 8. Doing it all. You're telling me Devin Booker's picking up 94 feet? Jason Tatum can't do that? He said, no, coach. He said, this is the game plan? Yeah, I'm not playing that. You know.
Technically, Jason Tatum never said it. It was just rumblings and mumbling. Other people were saying stuff about it.
Let's quote it deep. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but as soon as you know, you let me know.
His mom should know that by now. Like, he's been a pro for how long? At that stage, that everyone's looking at him, of course they're going to magnify her.
Straight from the source.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mama, I'm sorry, Deuce. LMA, my first, he got it. I don't know why you guys don't know this. We got a second born son a couple months ago. First time in Paris, daddy on the bench. Deuce and daddy won a championship. Daddy on the bench. We came all this way from nothing. But just to rub it in the top, since he had to mention LeBron getting that done. Great run by the team. It came down to the last minute. The game was very competitive. It was crazy that we'll talk about the women's game later, but both Paris teams have played basically a home game. So that was nuts. But to see that atmosphere, to see the raw emotion from these guys, and it's like, yeah, it's the Olympics, why are you crying? But to do this at home is a surreal feeling. So 2028 Wemby, we might send our best. It still might not be successful. So that's going to be interesting to see.
I'm scared for 2028. I am scared because, like, the thing that's flying under the radar is it's like, okay, yeah, the Americans beat France, both men and women, on their home turf. But for the men, they also beat France in the gold medal game in Tokyo back in 2021. And so now that's 2 gold medal games that France has been left at the door knocking. Basically, I mean, as we know as 49ers and Eagles fans, like, that feeling sucks. And now that's happened twice in a row. And so, like, with Wemby, Wemby was crying, and understandably so. I would have been crying too, because that's the only opportunity he's going to get to play on his home soil in the Olympics. Because they're not coming back for probably another 50 years. They're spreading it across the world. And so that was his opportunity to win gold on his home turf, and they took that opportunity from him. And it wasn't for his lack of effort, because Victor Wembanyama had a hell of a game.
His over-under was free.
As Wemby finished with 26 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and he made 3 of 8 3-pointers. And it's just, I know that he's been around for a couple years now, and we got the Embiids and the Jokic's, but it's still crazy for me to see a 7+ footer just pulling up from behind the arc and just like doing it in transition too, making it look so easy. But Jaevon, what did you think about this gold medal game as Team USA wins their 5th gold medal in a row?
Yeah, so kind of going into this game, USA was favored, I think, by 16 points again, something like that. I think it will land a little bit more. I think that USA kind of had all the momentum going into that, coming off of that Serbia game, and then Steph's just he's been walking around on fire. There's the RDC meme of you're getting out of bed and the dude's having to guard him. He's like, Coach Steph, I got a guard like this. He's like, man, I'm not going to do nothing. So, and then he shoots the ball. So I just thought we would see a lot of everybody maybe in this game. And we knew who would eventually be closing. That's, Steph, LeBron, Katie, all those guys. No, Jason was going to play. Unfortunately, based off of the math.
But he did play.
The math.
You did play.
Yeah. The math was saying the numbers we had to get right. People were saying that the minutes was forced them. So Twitter is a crazy place.
It made sense, though, for Tatum to play in this gold medal game, like all politics aside, because finally Durant started.
Yeah.
And so you had LeBron and Durant in the starting lineup, and so someone had to relieve them.
So, D-Book had a very quiet, very good game. He had 15. I was gonna say off the bench he started though. Good start. So,
yeah.
Joel played well, I thought. And going back to what you were saying about the booing, he played with Philadelphia, as Kev already knows what it's like in Philly. They blew the shit out of him. So I mean, it was like yeah. So he lives for stuff like that. So just the game itself was just seeing how everybody was interacting. There was I think 20 million people watched this game. So this was like the highest rated I think NBA or not game, I think basketball game in a very, very long time. We all know that the NFL is king when it comes to ratings. And to see that everybody was watching this game just meant that this is kind of like the last ride essentially for all the guys. And LeBron, KD, and Steph, obviously they're not all going to be on the same team, but just to see them all on the Olympic team, and then they were asking guys after the game, are you going to play in 2028? I'm like, probably not. And then there's the Magic Johnson game where he's like, I'm not going to be. So, yeah, Wemby he looked like a freak. He played his ass off. He really was the only chance that they had. Shout out to Draymond for coming to come and hate on Rudy Gobert, who I didn't know was going to play because they kind of took him out the lineup, and he wasn't really playing in the other qualifying games. So see him kind of come out, it was kind of all hands on deck. But this team, I think we all kind of agreed when this team was formed, it was like, okay, they're kind of coming to, relieve all the guys with their duties. Like, this is the team that's supposed to win gold. And LeBron was kind of the guy at the forefront saying, like, hey, you got this person, this person, this person. When LeBron says that I'm going to play, it's kind of like, all right, so that means that he's going to play. He's kind of like the catalyst for everybody. It was cool to see all the really cool moments. And even when, Anthony Edwards and KD, that dynamic, Kevin Durant, or Anthony Edwards, shout out to our boy Wes. His favorite player was Kevin Durant growing up. And when he caught a lob from him in the game, that was one of the coolest moments that was just surreal. And, kind of to see him when they were going out in the playoffs and him talking shit to him, that was a really cool moment for him. And to catch a lob from him in the gold medal game, it can't get no better than that. So, and obviously Steph Curry put on a freaking show at the end, kind of just icing out the game and all of the threes that he hit, especially Kevin said, if you have anybody that looks off Steph Curry and Kevin Durant, you are gonna get you're getting shipped off to anywhere. Because you don't look, these are Hall of Famers that are looking off. Steph, a Hall of Famer in himself, hits an insane three-pointer. I even saw someone on Get Up say this is the greatest shot like ever. So it's
you look at the photo. Yeah. It's hard.
I'm trying to get soaked to paint the night of him going like this. Oh my god! So I was like, bro, if she can do that, it's.
Have you seen that photo of Steph hitting the three in the right corner over Wemby, where Wemby is like full on, almost like the Jordan logo, where it's all
wingspan.
Yeah. And Steph still gets it over.
He hit that shot.
He hit it. It just speaks to the greatness of Stephen Curry. And
he hit 8 threes.
Yeah.
He had 17 threes in the last 2 games. People had 17 threes in like a season.
And to add to that stat, Steph Curry in the first 4 games of the Olympics, this is his combined totals. So the first 4 games, he had 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists on 5 of 23 pointers. For the last 2 games, 60 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, but hitting on what Jaevon was just talking about, 17 of 26 from three-point territory. He said that this is his one and only opportunity. When it comes to that big three, the Avengers, being Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Steph Curry, I believe that this is it for Steph. Like, he'll be 39 in 2028, but I think this is it for him. It was his one and only. Yeah, he played in the World Games in the past, but this was it for his Olympic appearance. For LeBron, like, his longevity makes it hard for me to believe that he won't play in it until he officially says, I'm not.
How has he played in? He's only played in 3, but Kevin Durant's played 4.
It's 1.
Well, he was on the team that lost.
There was 2004.
There was a redeeming team.
Yeah.
And then he also took off 2016 and 2020. 2021 it is.
So LeBron really could have like.
He could have 5. He could have 5. He could have 5 right now. Even 6 if they took care of business against Manu Ginobili. But
Can't defend that.
I digress. He'll hold on to that for the rest of his life. But, Steph Curry absolutely killed it. I think Durant will be back for 2028. And like I said, with LeBron.
How old is KD? 35.
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there.
He's on the bench now. So,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, what do you guys think? You think all 3 of them are done? Because for me, I think Steph is the only one.
I think so.
Who is for sure done.
KD might still.
Okay.
I think for the sole
To be honest, I think all.
yeah, just for the unity thing, I think they're all just be the last one.
Yeah, that would make sense.
No one wants to be on the team that loses to.
That's a fact. And also,
it's the young guys.
and for Steph, you truly can't go out at a higher mark because it's like
I honestly thought they were going to give it to him. MVP.
But like Kevin said, it's a 6-game thing.
LeBron was most consistent all games.
100%.
What, 3 triple doubles?
He was damn close to it. He technically had 1, but so LeBron's full game log is first game against Serbia. He had 21 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. The game, and so damn near a triple double right there. Against South Sudan, 12 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Against Puerto Rico, 10 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists. Again, really close to a triple double. Versus Brazil, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists, almost a double-double. Against Serbia, the second time around, he actually did have that triple-double.
These are 40-minute games.
Exactly. 40-minute games. And in most of these, he's probably playing 20 because they don't need, except for those last 2 games, they didn't need him down the stretch.
NBA is 48 minutes.
Correct. Yeah. And so the second game against Serbia is when he had a true triple-double, 16 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists. And then that final game against France, he had 14 points, 6 rebounds, 10 assists. So his averages over those 6 games, the MVP, he got 14.2 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 8.5 assists. So Kevin, as our resident LeBronologist, he's officially done. This is it.
He's done. He's gonna unless he comes back and says, You got a Bronny James jersey, Junior? You got a Bronny James?
No. You got a Bryce James jersey?
Bronny got it first.
I feel like Bryce is going to be better.
But Bronny be older, so we don't know what he looks like. That would be
Bryce would be bigger than
Bryce is a senior, so a freshman, so that means he wouldn't be in the NBA until 27. 25. No, 27.
Yeah.
Going into 27.
Yeah, correct.
So you don't be a rookie.
26,
So
27.
27, he'd be a second-year guy, so that might be hard.
That's true.
And then we still got the young guys. So
He's no Cooper Flack. He's not going to come in and just Cooper Flack could have played on this Olympic team based on how he was playing.
We did it with Laker. We did it with AD.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. And with the way that he was playing it for the select team in those exhibitions, it's hard to argue against him because he was just on an absolutely different level. But Derek White, he got that spot, and so 3 Celtics ultimately end up getting a gold medal. Hell of a couple months for you, Jaevon, isn't it? With being an American, obviously, and then also a Celtics fan. I mean, just linking it all together.
I mean, it's what can I say?
Man, for the end of football season.
Got a team full of winners, and we're gonna go back motivated. We're gonna be motivated going into next year.
Jeff Teague said Steph Curry just started a dynasty. So Jalen Brown couldn't come, didn't play JV, or didn't play Jason.
Hey man, it's
I don't know.
How much opening night?
Dudes in New York.
Yeah, all these paper teams.
Oh,
all these on
that's
paper.
all. Everyone's the paper team right now.
Yeah, on paper, everyone's the best. So,
Well,
champions, reigning champions. So, reigning defending. So,
At least for another couple of weeks, we are all united here in the States. And so we shall celebrate that. Even though it's ironic that we're Finland.
Didn't that come out today?
Yeah, so
No.
We played Timberwolves.
Okay, I didn't even see that. But I did see when I was watching Pat McAfee.
How did that be?
It's the Knicks at the Celtics for your first game.
Damn, the rings.
Damn. On ring night.
That's the matchup we should have gotten in the Eastern Conference Finals, if not for injuries.
Well, there will be a Vonnie's hotline.
Ooh, I don't know, Mikal Bridges. Don't All the OG.
Paper teams. Paper. Oh, yeah. No, KP. KP won't. Will he play? He might not play. Oh. Then, no Chris Stapps.
Is Alvin back?
Hey, fuck you, Al. Shout out to my guy Matthew. Yeah, every time I hear Al Horford, I say that.
If Demetrius, Akita, you're starting center game one.
Who?
Demetrius.
Oh my God.
Nimi!
I'm sorry, Mimi, man.
Yeah, I guess we're just in shambles game one.
Yeah, well,
We ain't losing all ring. That's all I'll say. Click this.
regardless of what happens this upcoming season, we still got number 8. And for now, the Celtics have the most in the NBA.